Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here today for part 9 in the natural healing testimonies. And what these are stories, sometimes they're short, sometimes they're long, that people have sent me on their own road to recovery or healing from whether it be something small or big, and what they use to get there. And so again, part 9, which means I have 8 other videos. And if you want to see those too, please go down to this description box by clicking on more or show more somewhere down here below this video screen. Click on that, and in there you'll find the link to the full playlist with all these videos in there. This has been a very fun series to put together. I've really enjoyed it. I've learned a lot myself from this. So let's start off with the first one. I had a horrendous staph infection, not MRSA, that 2 months of antibiotics could not eliminate. I started taking oregano oil capsules for a different ailment, and it cleared up both ailments very quickly. Oregano oil is now my go-to choice for anything fungal or bacterial. It doesn't bother my stomach, so I was probably taking 9 to 12 gel caps per day. Wow, that's quite a bit. Not everybody would be able to handle that. I've had lifelong post-nasal drip problems, and the constant drainage and throat clearing is exhausting. I started using a neti pot with 3/4 cup warm salt water plus 6 to 10 drops of Lugol's iodine, and using that to wash out my sinuses. It has made a huge difference in just a few days. TMI warning, I also had a mild sort of moldy mildew smell in my nose that has cleared up. This treatment, along with the gargling with the same solution, could help a lot of people prevent or treat certain viruses that start with a C. Many years ago, my grandma swore by gargling with warm salt water. The addition of iodine is a great improvement. However, people with thyroid issues should be careful not to swallow it. I will add that a lot of times it depends on the thyroid issue. If you have hyperthyroidism, you'd probably need to be careful. If you have hypothyroidism, iodine can be very helpful in that case. Not for everyone, and not everyone should take it, but that's one of the top nutrients that a lot of times people with hypothyroidism, which means a low functioning thyroid, need to help give it a boost. So remember, Patrick and I have been off of our thyroid medication now that we were on for 15 years. We've been off now for 12 years. So in another 3 years, we will have been off it for as long as we were on it. And these are some of the measures we took, but I could not continue on the iodine because my body, it wasn't right for me. So I think it has to do with just a blood trait that I have passed down through my Mediterranean descent. Oh, and I want to go back to the oregano. I do say, please be careful with that. Not everybody can handle that. And also oregano oil, because of its very powerful antibacterial, antifungal and all that, too much for too long can disrupt the natural gut flora. So you got to, just like with anything else, you got to always balance things out. So that would be something that I would only take if I absolutely needed to, just personally. That's my personal opinion. But I'm always encouraged when I read stories like this, that people that can take that much and really bring that much help to their whatever it is that they're dealing with. As a young girl, I used to watch my dad boil mullein leaves in milk. He would strain it and drink the milk to relieve hemorrhoids. He is no longer here to ask if it worked, but I do know he did this on several occasions. I'm assuming it worked, or why would you want to drink that? Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound really pleasant. Of course, I'm not a milk drinker myself. For colds, he used to eat yellow mustard and sliced onion sandwiches. My grandma used to make mustard plasters for chest colds. Here is a rough recipe. Mix 2 tablespoons mustard powder, 2 tablespoons flour, and 2 tablespoons vinegar. Spread the mixture on a piece of sheet that has been cut. I'm assuming the sheet must be about the size of a cookie sheet. Put the sheet on a cookie sheet, fold over twice, and heat in a preheated oven, 385 degrees. Heat until very warm. Put folded side down on the chest with a towel on top for a few minutes. Take sheet off and rub on Vicks Vapor Rub. put towel back on chest, and leave overnight. Just so you know, Vicks, the more modern recipe, though it still has, they use all the same stuff, even the one that I'm not allowed to talk about that starts with a T that I used to talk about until, you know, I started getting in trouble with YouTube. But I can talk about it on Rumble. So in fact, I have the video on that very topic pinned at the top of my Rumble channel. That was used for the very same thing, sometimes just by itself. But also it's what's in your common over-the-counter store-bought medications that are for chest rubs and so on, like, you know, Vicks and mentholatum and more. They have all the same ingredients. However, the more modern ingredients now, they've taken the camphor and now they use a synthetic camphor instead of natural camphor. So you can take, if you just read the ingredients on there, you can basically make your own blend with camphor, the menthol crystals, that one thing, it starts with a T, and also thyme oil and more. And just so you can make your own, so you're avoiding the synthetic ingredients that are in those. I'm not saying it's totally bad. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, but you can buy a lot of these essential oils and just make up your own and then use something else as a base, like shea butter, coconut oil, or whatever it is that you want to use. Oh, and she finishes this out with, my cousin has used this recipe and I only acquired it recently. Next testimony. After a huge kidney stone that took 2 hospitalizations to remove, I had a CAT scan of my kidneys and they looked like a child's snow globe with all sorts of white stones embedded in them. My goodness. The urologist said there was not much that could be done and to expect more kidney stones. Yikes. I started taking 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in 8 ounces of water every day. The next CAT scan 6 months later showed 0 kidney stones. Amazing. Amazing. The doc said, continue doing what you're doing. That was 4 years ago, and the kidney stones have not returned. And added an unexpected bonus was my daily heartburn disappeared. This is so great. And please know that even though I take these stories out of the email and then I copy and paste them into a document that I print off, I almost never read through them before I start shooting a video. So the reaction you're seeing is actually more of a live reaction because that's the first time I actually read this. So that's pretty cool. All right, next one. We had a lot of shorter ones today. I thought I'd share that I make juniper berries fermented drinks and it healed bladder issues. Great. I found that I absolutely adore juniper berries. In fact, have a video out on that now and the benefits of that I will link to in the description box down below. In fact, what I'll do is I'll link to the whole playlist on herbs and more benefits and uses, and the juniper berry one is in there. And I love them. I love the flavor of them. Okay, juniper berries are good for kidney. I add half cup of organic dry berries in a half-gallon jar and fill it up with water for 30 days or so. Strain and put in the fridge and start to drink. You can add lemon, lime, and honey afterwards and more. Now I'm experimenting by adding elderberries and Shishandra berries to the juniper berry drink. We'll see how it turns out, but more bubbly 10 days later. So far, so good. So since she probably sent me that a while ago, if she's hearing this testimony being read, if you'd like to get in there and comment, give us an update on that and how it turned out. Another short one. Back in the early to mid 80s, while visiting Germany, I was diagnosed with a bad liver. My husband was asked if I was a heavy drinker. I am very allergic to alcohol. In Europe, they don't, or back then didn't, just start pushing drugs until trying nature first. They put me on massive doses of milk thistle. If it didn't work, hubby was told I'd only live a few years. I was only 31 years old. Wow. To this date, I've never taken a drug. I'm somewhat healthy as long as I take my milk thistle. I'm so thankful to you and others like you that share healthy living. Great testimony. Love that. I've actually never used milk thistle, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. And it's one of those that's come up in a few of my natural remedy list videos, which I'll also put the link to that full playlist down below because the lists are dedicated to various different ailments or just things that, you know, like having healthy skin, healthy hair, and so on. So, and then I compile the different herbs and whatnot and put them into one list so people can have a jumping off place to start and then figure out what's going to be best for them from there. Not all herbs are good for all people. So, you know, even though somebody might say this or that is a cure-all or a miracle herb, it's not for everyone. Sometimes we just have to trial and error to find out what's going to work. And different allergies and stuff can really have a say in what you should and shouldn't use. So last one. This is a pet-related healing. I have 2 indoor cats, and one day I was petting my Janie girl and noticed a bare spot on her belly. I was familiar with ringworm from a previous outbreak from our cat. Back then, it was a trip to a vet and nasty cream to apply. Well, since I learned many things from your channel and started my natural healing journey, I started investigating, found just by applying a saturated ball of ACV, apple cider vinegar, 1 to 2 times daily in about 2 weeks, it was totally gone. How cool is that? That's great. And even though a lot of people always go to the ACV, which is apple cider vinegar, remember that you can make your own vinegar out of just about anything. So let's say if you want to use a medicinal herb like oregano and make a vinegar out of that you can take internally that would help with internal fungus issues. And because oregano is a great natural antifungal, as is thyme, garlic, and so much more, you can make a vinegar out of those right from your garden for free, other than the sugar you're going to add. And then you can start using that either topically or internally, and then even boost the benefits that you're looking for by doing that. Or any herbs that are naturally good for gut health, such as marshmallow and so much more. And same thing applies there if you're wanting to take it for just general gut health. And so if you want to learn how to make your own vinegar, I'll link to my most recent vinegar making video down below so you can learn how to do that. Super, super easy process that can cost you very, very little money. It's going to be much, much cheaper than buying any kind of organic raw vinegar from your store. And it's so easy. Anyone can do it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you would like to share your own natural healing testimony or your own preparedness testimony, if you want to be a part of that, make sure you title your email according to one or the other and send it to raincountryhomestead@gmail.com. And I'll put it in the appropriate folder. And when I get to it, then I will read it in a future video like this. And don't forget, I'll be linking to those other videos and playlists down below. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.